western Iraq, 60 miles from the Iranian border. 5:30 in the morning. 16 US F-22 Raptor stealth fighters from the 1st Fighter Wing cruised at 45,000 feet in 4 flights of 4 aircraft each. The early morning sky was still dark above them, but glowing orange on the eastern horizon. Below, American ground forces were conducting operations near the Iraqi border region. The F-22s had been tasked with establishing air superiority over the operational area, a mission they had performed routinely for weeks. Their pilots expected another quiet patrol. They were wrong. At 5 Iranian air bases spread across western Iran, a massive aerial assault was being prepared. The Iranian Air Force had assembled its largest strike package in decades. 40 fighter aircraft were fueled, armed, and ready for launch. The force consisted of 12 F-14 Tomcats from the 8th Tactical Fighter Base at Isfahan, carrying Fakhr 90 long-range air-to-air missiles. 16 F-4 Phantom IIs from Tabriz and Hamadan, loaded with air-to-ground munitions targeting American positions on the ground. 8 MiG-29 Fulcrums from the 2nd Tactical Fighter Base at Tabriz, serving as close escort fighters, and 4 Su-24 Fencer attack aircraft from Shiraz carrying precision-guided standoff munitions. The Iranian plan was ambitious. The F-14 Tomcats would provide long-range air cover using their AWG-9 radar systems to sweep the sky ahead. The MiG-29s would fly close escort, protecting the strike aircraft from any American fighters that penetrated the F-14 screen. The F-4 Phantoms and Su-24 Fencers would then push through to bomb American ground positions. If you stand with the United States Air Force, subscribe to Sonic's Darks and never miss a battle. Iranian commanders believed that 40 aircraft attacking simultaneously from multiple directions would overwhelm the American fighter screen. Iranian air defense commanders had tracked American F-22 patrol patterns for weeks using long-range radar stations. They believed they had identified gaps in the coverage that the strike package could exploit. What they did not know was that the F-22s had been deliberately varying their patrol routes to create false patterns. The Americans had been reading Iranian communications and knew an attack was being planned. They just did not know exactly when. At 5:15 a.m., the first wave of Iranian aircraft began launching. The 12 F-14 Tomcats took off from Isfahan in pairs, climbing steeply before turning west toward the Iraqi border. Within 10 minutes, all 40 aircraft were airborne and forming up into their assigned formations. The F-14s led at 35,000 feet. The MiG-29s flew at 30,000 feet behind them. The F-4 Phantoms cruised at 25,000 feet in 4 groups of 4. The Su-24 Fencers brought up the rear at 20,000 feet. American surveillance detected the launches immediately. An RC-135 Rivet Joint Electronic Reconnaissance aircraft orbiting over central Iraq intercepted the Iranian communications coordinating the formation. An E-3 Sentry AWACS aircraft tracked every aircraft the moment it became airborne, classifying each by type based on radar signature and flight characteristics. Within minutes of the first takeoff, American commanders had a complete picture of the Iranian force composition and heading. The order went out to the F-22 pilots at 5:25 a.m. Colonel David Chen, commanding the F-22 formation, received the tactical picture on his data link display. 40 hostile aircraft inbound. He had 16 Raptors, each carrying 8 air-to-air missiles, 6 AIM-120D AMRAAM beyond visual range missiles. Colonel Chen divided his 16 Raptors into 3 tactical elements. Alpha Flight with 8 aircraft would engage the F-14 Tomcat screen at maximum range, destroying Iran's long-range air-to-air capability before it could be used. Bravo Flight with 4 aircraft would target the MiG-29 escort fighters simultaneously. Charlie Flight with 4 aircraft would hold in reserve at high altitude, ready to engage any aircraft that survived the initial ambush or attempted to flee. The F-22s repositioned silently. Their stealth characteristics made them invisible to every radar system in the Iranian arsenal. The F-14's AWG-9 radar, designed in the 1970s, could not detect the Raptor's tiny radar cross-section. The MiG-29's phasotron radar was equally blind. Iranian pilots flew toward a wall of stealth fighters they could not see, could not detect, and could not defend against. At 5:40 a.m., the Iranian formation crossed the Iraqi border at multiple points. The F-14 Tomcats swept their powerful radars ahead, searching for American aircraft. Their screen showed empty sky. The F-14 radar operators reported no contacts. Iranian commanders on the ground confirmed the airspace appeared clear. The strike package pressed forward with growing confidence. At precisely 5:42 a.m., Alpha Flight initiated the attack. 8 F-22s opened their internal weapons bays simultaneously and launched a volley of 24 AIM-120D AMRAAM missiles at the 12 F-14 Tomcats from a range of 55 miles. 2 missiles were allocated to each target, with 8 additional missiles assigned to ensure complete destruction. 30 seconds after Alpha Flight fired, Bravo Flight launched 16 AIM-120D missiles at the 8 MiG-29 Fulcrums. The Raptors AN/APG-77 radar had precisely tracked each MiG-29 and calculated optimal intercept trajectories. The missiles raced toward their targets while the Iranian pilots remained completely unaware. The first impacts occurred at 5:43 a.m. 2 AIM-120D missiles slammed into the lead F-14 Tomcats simultaneously. The aircraft disintegrated in a massive fireball at 35,000 feet. Within the next 8 seconds, 11 more F-14s were hit. Pilots who had been confidently scanning empty radar screens suddenly found themselves engulfed in explosions. Some aircraft broke apart instantly, others tumbled from the sky, trailing smoke and flame. Of the 12 F-14 Tomcats, 10 were destroyed in the initial volley. 2 pilots managed to eject before their aircraft were hit by the follow-up missiles. The MiG-29 formation was struck 4 seconds later. The Fulcrum pilots had a fraction of a second of warning as their radar warning receivers finally detected the incoming missiles at close range. 2 pilots attempted to brake and deploy countermeasures. It was far too late. All 8 MiG-29s were destroyed within 6 seconds. Not a single pilot ejected. The close escort fighters that were supposed to protect the strike package had been eliminated without firing a single shot. The destruction of 20 aircraft in under 15 seconds sent the remaining Iranian formation into chaos. The F-4 Phantom pilots saw fireballs erupting across the sky above them, radio channels filled with panicked calls. Some pilots reported missile impacts. Others screamed warnings about an enemy they could not see. The disciplined strike formation shattered as aircraft broke in every direction. 8 F-4 Phantoms immediately turned east, dumping their bomb loads and running for the Iranian border at maximum speed. Their pilots had no intention of continuing toward an invisible enemy that had just destroyed 20 aircraft in seconds. They punched their afterburners and dove for low altitude, hoping to use terrain masking to escape. Charlie Flight, the 4 reserve F-22s at high altitude, engaged the fleeing Phantoms. Colonel Chen authorized weapons release on the retreating aircraft. Charlie Flight launched 8 AIM-120D missiles at the 8 fleeing F-4s from directly above, using the Raptors' look-down, shoot-down capability. The missiles tracked the Phantoms through their defensive maneuvers. 6 F-4s were destroyed in rapid succession. 2 managed to cross back into Iranian airspace before the missiles reached them, but both were so badly damaged by near-miss fragmentation that they crashed attempting to land. The remaining 8 F-4 Phantoms and 4 Su-24 fencers attempted different survival strategies. 4 F-4 pilots dove to extreme low altitude, hoping to hide in the ground clutter. 3 Su-24 fencers turned south, attempting to escape through a perceived gap in the American coverage. 1 Su-24 pilot and 4 F-4 pilots actually attempted to press their attack on the ground targets, either incredibly brave or unaware of the carnage above them. Alpha Flight, having destroyed the F-14 screen, descended to engage the low-flying F-4 Phantoms. The F-22's radar easily tracked the aircraft against the ground. 4 more AIM-120D missiles destroyed 4 F-4s that were hugging the terrain at 200 feet. The low-altitude escape route proved just as lethal as high altitude against an enemy with look-down capability. Bravo Flight targeted the 3 Su-24 fencers attempting to flee south. At Mach 1.8, the F-22s closed the distance rapidly. 3 AIM-9X Sidewinder heat-seeking missiles locked onto the fencer's hot engine exhaust. All 3 aircraft were destroyed within 30 seconds. The pilots never knew what hit them. The 5 remaining aircraft, 4 F-4s and 1 Su-24 that had pushed forward toward the American ground positions, now found themselves completely alone. Colonel Chen vectored Alpha and Bravo flights to intercept. The F-22s descended through broken cloud cover and engaged at visual range. The brief dogfight was completely one-sided. The F-4 Phantom pilots attempted to maneuver, but the F-22's thrust vectoring capability gave it an insurmountable advantage in close combat. AIM-9X missiles destroyed 3 F-4s in quick succession. The 4th F-4 was shot down by a 20mm cannon burst from an F-22 that had closed to gun range. The final Su-24, attempting to launch its standoff weapons, was destroyed by an AMRAAM missile before it could release. By 5:58 a.m., the sky was clear. The entire engagement had lasted 16 minutes from the first missile launch to the destruction of the last Iranian aircraft. All 40 Iranian aircraft had been destroyed. Not a single bomb, missile, or bullet from an Iranian aircraft had reached an American target on the ground or in the air. The 16 F-22 Raptors returned to base with every aircraft intact. Total American ammunition expenditure was 71 AIM-120D AMRAAM missiles, 6 AIM-9X Sidewinder missiles, and 120 rounds of 20mm cannon ammunition. 0 American aircraft were damaged. 0 American pilots were injured. Not a single Iranian weapon system had achieved a lock on any F-22. The Raptors had been invisible throughout the engagement. The Iranian Air Force lost its entire Western strike capability in 16 minutes. 12 F-14 Tomcats, representing a significant portion of Iran's remaining airframes of that type. 8 MiG-29 Fulcrums, among Iran's most capable dogfighters. 16 F-4 Phantom IIs, the backbone of Iran's tactical air force. And 4 Su-24 Fencers, critical precision strike assets. Total aircraft losses were valued at approximately $800 million. Pilot losses were equally devastating. Of the 40 aircraft shot down, only 4 pilots successfully ejected and were recovered by search and rescue teams. The remaining 36 aircrew were killed. The Iranian Air Force lost more trained combat pilots in 16 minutes than they could replace in 5 years. The battle demonstrated the fundamental dominance of fifth-generation stealth fighters against legacy aircraft. The F-22's combination of stealth, super cruise, advanced sensors, and superior weapons created a kill chain that fourth-generation fighters could not counter. Iranian aircraft were destroyed before they knew they were under attack. No amount of training, bravery, or numerical superiority could overcome the technology gap. Iranian state media reported that a training exercise had been conducted in western Iran and that all aircraft returned safely. Satellite imagery showing the wreckage of 38 aircraft scattered across western Iraq told a very different story. The debris field stretched for 60 miles, a silent testament to the most one-sided air battle in modern history. If you stand with the United States Air Force, subscribe to Sonic's Darks and never miss a battle.